What is the Ugram? The DRDO's new battle rifle developed for the Indian military. It's a new 7.62 into 51 rifle developed in a record time of less than 2 years. I am at the Armaments Research and Development Establishment in Pune, which is the arm of the DRDO that designs weapons, specifically the Small Arms Division of ARDE. And I am joined here today by two of the designers of the Ugram. In fact, they are the designers who've been designing all of the Indian military's weapons, right from the INSAS to the 5.5645 carbine, the joint venture protective carbine, and now we have the Ugram, the new 7.62 into 51 battle rifle. Let's hear it from the gentlemen themselves. Gentlemen, welcome to the News 9 Plus show.
I am the last generation of INSAS. Then after INSAS, we started developing the JVPC, and it has taken a lot of efforts because that was a new technology entirely. So somehow we are able to pass the trials, all the trials. Now I am happy that Army has accepted it. They are placing order, and MHA has also accepted. I think more than around 30,000 weapons already supplied to MHA. Thereafter, we developed the UBGL that is also introduced in the Army. It is something like 17,000 UBGLs we have supplied. So INSAS was the only weapon, if you see as on today, it is the only weapon which has gone severe conflict like Kargil. During Kargil war, this is the only INSAS rifle was extensively used. So after that, in fact, I was deputed to the infantry school MOV. We had a team of army officers and myself. Sometimes I can share that one. We worked out some 27 points where INSAS, the feedback was there, some breakage, some here and there. So after Kargil, we had a series of meetings with Army. We upgraded that. Otherwise, INSAS was 1A, 1A1 something. Then after Kargil war, we made it 1B. So 1B weapon, thereafter we didn't officially received the complaints. In fact, 2009 we proposed to upgrade the INSAS again with the Army. There is infantry school MOV. There is the training center for the small arms or all infantry officers. There we always work very closely with them. Okay, Army headquarters is one part. We have the institutional relation with them. So we jointly proposed one upgradation, but unfortunately it was turned down. Major, there are, if you say the INSAS feedback, first, in fact, after Kargil, I made the feedback report also, and after that also. INSAS first problem is the magazine. Magazine is a polycarbonate magazine. It tends because they want, that time there is a requirement of see-through and all. So it obviously that material by itself it breaks during some conditions. That is the first problem of INSAS. Second is heating. Heating of cocking handle. When you cock the weapon, there is a lot of complaints of hand getting touched to the hot condition of the barrel. That is the second problem. Third problem is the cover opening. Cover, where the sights are mounted on the cover. When you open the cover, there is a tendency of disturbing the zeroing. Again, sometimes you have to re-zero the weapon. That is third major issue. Fourth is there are a lot of components like gas block has got certain regulators which are not required. Like there is a carrying handle is there, funny carrying handle is there. These are as a requirement of users we have started implementing those things. Those increase the number of components in INSAS. And if you increase the number of components, obviously one or two components will break in sometimes. So that decreases the reliability. So therefore, fifth is that it is again stamped material to reduce the cost of production. And moreover, when we developed the INSAS, the technology level in India is very, very nascent. There is no, all the missions are from the SLR stage, conventional mission. But if you see last 20 years, There are now the computer control machines are there. They are called VMCs. You program it within half an hour, the component will come out. So those technologies were not available in India. We had to rely on the crude technology of stamping and all. So that's why. So these 5 areas are major concern. So all these 5 areas he will tell you how we improved it. Till 2019, we were only developing with ordnance factories. So there was some issues. But 2019 onwards, there are a lot of licenses were given to private firms. So DRDO, the objective of DRDO is to develop the private industry, create an ecosystem in India. The first of this kind, we started the first experiment with, there is a corner shot weapon, which we developed with ordnance Gen Technologies and also with Bell. So that development is completed. Now both are getting good amount of orders. Then coming to the hardcore small arms like CQB carbine, LMG, 9mm pistol, again we started developing with the private industry. So we are the private industry is very energetic. We are able to complete everything. The development cycle, if you see that JUPC, it took almost 1.5 decades to develop it. But if you see last 6 years, we have developed 6 weapons. There's almost like per 1 year we are launching one new weapon. Because that is because of the private industry. There are a lot of push from our side, and the industry is also taking a lot of efforts to develop, to run along with us. In fact, to support the industry, we have established barrels also. Because the industry, they can do everything, they cannot do the barrel. Because the capital expenditure is there. We have to, it is expertise is required. So government, the DRDO headquarters has sanctioned us almost 50 crores for that. So we bought the machinery. It is a cold forging machine. The machine itself is around 40 crores. In India, only ordnance factories are having those machines. There is no private industry cannot access that machine. So we have kept that machine only for private industry. Whether it can be ARDE developed small arms, or they can also develop their own. Many people started developing that. So we are supporting the technology for private industry. And second is the most important thing why we are getting in the small arms, though industry is coming, we wanted to create Indian IP. The advantage of creating a intellectual property within India is that, see, if you have the joint venture with any firm, it can be Israel or Germany. First, there are 2 issues. One is they hold the technology. They don't give complete 100% TOT to you. Either they hold with some niche technology with them, or at least materials. So there are some issues they won't give the 100%. Some 10-20% always they keep it. Second most important is they will not allow you to export their markets. That is the major drawback of any JV. Because any small arms, the industry can sustain with the scale. Scale means you will have to produce not only for Indian market, you will have to start exporting over a period of time to world market. Then only you can make a scale. If you are making a scale, the quality and cost will drastically come down. Otherwise, you will never be competitive if you are only selling in one market. So that is a major drawback if you are having a joint ventures with a abroad company. So what DRDO is emphasizing it, you create your own IP. So that our industry, if we are developing with the industry, they have the capability to supply not only Indian market, they can even export it. Nobody can stop them. Even government will encourage them, maybe in whatever form is. There are many industries like ATAX. The Bharat Forge is exporting, it is basically ARDE technology. They are exporting huge. Similar way, we have developed the LMG with ordnance factories. The first order they got from the export market, it's a huge quantity they got. And right now there is, I think the first consignment is going. So that is the idea of developing the industry, indigenous development. What I said, that export, scale it, and down the line 10 years, these people can develop on their own. They can develop the variants or do the technology in different format. Means the industry can cope up like automobiles. They get one technology, they will develop the variants. So similar way DRDO wants. So this is the way we are developing it. Fortunately, we are very successful. Many weapons have gone to private industry. Now Ugram, we have developed it for the sake of Indian security forces, not only Army or MHA. MHA, the first trial is already completed, and we are also going for Army trials. That is the philosophy of entering in the small arms. That is the, we are not a profit organization, but we are here to only support the industry. Industry, we want to increase the capability of industry. Once they are capable, then we are going value chain. We are going to medium caliber weapons. Probably after next year, next couple of years, we will be going to higher calibers where there is no industry, there is no TOT is available. So we will be developing the niche weapons. So that technology, it may take 5 years, 10 years. That again will come to industry.
I'm Gaurav, scientist F. I am the officer in charge for this weapon. We got the direction from our headquarters in form of a mission mode project in August-September 22. So then we start working on this rifle configuration, and since we have developed very good weapons in last 4-5 years, so based on the learnings of those weapons, based on the robust designs and some concrete mechanisms which we have developed, like for CQB carbine, our machine pistol, our LMG. So this is an amalgamation of all those proven mechanisms and few new things which we have done in Ugram, and that work we did for almost a year. And after we perfected our design, we tested our design, we developed some limited prototype. When we were confident enough that our weapon can meet the QRs, we roped in Dwipa Defense India Private Limited through an open contract, and now they are our development partners. They are working for us. So then we developed this weapon, and the first 5 numbers we developed after placing a contract to them in September 23. January 24 we launched the first 5 numbers, and after that we again perfected our design and we fielded our weapon to the recently conducted user demonstration trials to a board of officers constituted by MHA, which consists almost 8 to 9 forces. And I am really feeling happy and proud to say that we met all the parameters of the QRs of Indian Army in that MHA demonstration, and we got very good feedback about this weapon. Normally when there is a GSQR, we are asked to work on a mission mode project because it will culminate in the user trial, and very recently we will conduct the user trial of Indian Army as well as MHA because we have got the directions and the weapons are ready. So within a couple of months both the trials will be conducted.
Right. So Mr. Prasad, I want to ask you this question about there seems to be a sense of how requirements are changing quite frequently. You first had the INSAS development cycle, which ended with the 1C. Then the caliber changed. It was a good weapon, met all the requirements of the users. Then the caliber changed, it went to 7.62-51. But you had also developed MCI-WS. And this would be a third rifle prototype that you developed in the span of a decade?
Yeah, unfortunately, or whatever, there is no institutional mechanism to make a scientific requirement of small arms. Maybe some policy, maybe it may come after some times. The army always chasing some sort of technologies available in foreign. They are trying to make the QRs based on the unproven weapons. So that is, we are also trying to chase that the QRs, what army is forming. We think that they are the sacrosanct. But sometimes they also, see, it's not that their fault. They want the best weapon. This one is, they want the best weapon. So there are so many foreign weapons available. They always try to convince them this is the best weapon. The QRs are formed to to match those advanced technology weapons. Ultimately, they are also not proven weapons. So again, it's like a race. We are not able to come out of that one. The army chase some sort of imaginative technologies and form a QR, we change their QRs. So it is ultimately, probably it is not correct, my point of view. Somewhere we have to come to the conclusion that what is the actual requirement for Indian conditions. Because we in India, if you say multiple calibers are being used, means you say that it is a Western calibers, it is Eastern calibers, all caliber weapons are used. Probably, I don't know, this may be philosophy deliberately, intentional or unintentionally, I don't know, but it's not good for a country to have so many calibers. It will be the logistic nightmare. In fact, probably we are also party of MOD, but somewhere I think we'll have to correct ourselves. Yeah, there is a big issue. In fact, I have been interacting with the infantry school right from my scientist BA. Maybe I can say that I'm the longest officer in the infantry school, because I have been interacting with various officers of different experience. So when this one, they always say that the soldiers are trained on one particular platform. See, earlier they were getting trained on SLRs. So from SLR to shifting the INSAS, it took time. It is almost 10 years. It was nightmare for us when we introduced the INSAS, because there is number of breakages, number of issues, because soldiers are not accustomed to this type of rifles. So that took almost 10 years to settle down. But once they settle down, it has 10 more years of, say, suppose 94 it was introduced. From 94 to 2002 or 3, we were nightmares, because every month we used to get the defect reports, because people are not accustomed to operate the INSAS weapon. But by the time 2002, they are accustomed, and we didn't get any issue up to 2015. But again, Army again changed the philosophy. They are going for different type of weapons. It will be very difficult for a soldier trained on, say, INSAS or AK-47 to overnight shift over to other platforms, because it's a soldier. It's called arm. Arm is its hand. It's a third hand. Arm is a third hand. So when you cannot put 8 fingers on that hand. So your hand is, we are accustomed to 5 fingers. You cannot put 8 fingers and ensure that it is equally efficient like a normal arm. So there will be issues. That's why we developed our platform basically to see that soldiers are not burdened with the training. So the weapon should be fired without any training. That is the first and foremost principle of any weapon designer, because when they are going for actual battlefield, there is a zero reflexes. It's a very high tension atmosphere when they are actually encountering any encounters. So that time you cannot say, no, it is only muscle memory which is in effect. So whatever he learned during his young age of 18 years, 20 years, how to cock the weapon, how to put the chain lever, how to magazine, how to pull the trigger, these are the 4 or 5 things that is embedded in software of his mind. So suddenly if you are given some other platform and he is thrown in the mid of the encounter, even though he is trained for 1 or 2 years, that won't get inside the muscle memory. That's what my discussion with various officers. In fact, one officer was posted here during our development. I think he's put his papers also. He's a Colonel Bajwa. He told this one to me. His name is Bajwa. I think he's resigned also. He said that it is almost impossible to change out the platform overnight. It requires years of experience.
It was done intentionally. Basically, it is not like that we cannot change that, but we don't want to change that, because as sir told that we don't want our soldiers to burdened with training. Like you see the cocking mechanism of this weapon, it is almost like the in-service weapon which soldiers are using. The magazine fitment, it is similar to the weapon, because if they are accustomed to that weapon, they will be very easily changing the mechanism, and these reflexes are required in a very quick responses when they are doing a heated operation. So they should not waste their they should not have a mental block that time, oh, I am not able to quickly change the magazine or fit the magazine. So intentionally we keep at some places, if like you are saying, it is looking like an INSAS. So just to maintain that operational drill similar to the what they are trained for, and their 10 to 15-year training should not go in vain. We purposefully kept it like that.
Right. So if you could just show us, show our viewers the 5 features that are similar to the INSAS and the MCIWS, which you've integrated into the Ugram.
I'll tell you one by one. First is the monolithic machined body, and the existing weapon is having a stamped riveted body. So you will not find any rivet. So this monolithic receiver body, it ensures long-term dimensional stability of the system. The second is the opening of the weapon. This weapon opens telescopic. If you remove this pin, this weapon will, the machinery will come out telescopically. So you need not to open the cover, so the sight will not get disturbed. Third point is this cocking handle. In the existing weapon, it is near to the heated zone. We shifted it 3-4 inch back. So unnecessary heating of the cocking handle we don't want. Next, most important is this magazine. You see, this magazine is made up of polymer, but wherever this magazine touches the weapon, we have put a metal insert, or you can say metal skeleton. So there should not be any polymer to metal contact. It should be always metal to metal contact. So this magazine is a very sturdy magazine and it can sustain any drop. So, and operationally, if you see the trigger distance, the change lever positions, so they are almost like, the design may be slightly different, but the position, location, they are same, because our soldiers are very quickly operating these things during the operations. And we have given this left hand side because our Indian soldiers are very accustomed for a left hand cocking.
And this kind of the SLR as well.
Most important, non-reciprocating
Non-reciprocate.
cocking. See, if you, that is most important, because AK and all, the people are accustomed to it. Sometimes, if you put the hand in somewhere near, it moves, the cocking moves along with the mechanism. Sometimes it hurts.
One feature which I would like to highlight about this rifle sighting system is, which I am not finding in any 7.6 to 51 rifles which I have seen. This rifle is asked for 100 to 500 meters range. So normally weapons are coming with 1 or 2 or maximum 3 peepholes, but we have given a dedicated peephole for every range, 100, 200. You just keep rotating this knob and this peephole will adjust for 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So for accuracy firing, I consider this is a very good arrangement for our firers. Like this magazine fitment.
Yes.
I can fit this magazine very comfortably because I am accustomed to INSAS.
To the INSAS.
So, change lever.
This change lever. This mechanism, these things, hands control, positions are almost taken from that.
And the sight.
The sight also. Aiming.
See, the most important, see any side, some are closed side, like 6 or it has some sort of closed. Because these people are accustomed either AK-47 or INSAS. Exactly same. One post, front post, there is a peephole rear. They know how to engage it.
Even you can correct this side with INSAS sight correction tool also. Right. So that commonality of the inventory also we have considered in our mind. Why to make a different sight adjustment tool? Our either whether it is army or paramilitary, they are all equipped with sight correction tool. So at least those dimensions we know. Our seniors have designed this weapon, INSAS weapon. So at least
I will say simple, how they are trained for aiming. They say they target. There are 3 points. So they will try. They will tell them, you bring this 4-set blade like this, like this, like this. These are the training actually.
Yes.
But if you have the circular, they have the different training.
And
so
these things
that
help
training
in
can be simply
doing the ranging also, because this distance between these two faces, you can range. If the target is fitting between these two, it is at this range. So these are actually operational tactics which we keep common between the in-service weapon and this. ambidextrous, I don't think any feature is there because change lever we have given. But yes, we can give change lever ambidextrous if any specific force is asking.
But that only is making the weapon more complicated. Actually, though it is a wishful thinking, but if you see all the weapons, even SIG-SOR, nobody has got that type of ambidextrous.
And the one big change, of course, from the INSAS is that you don't have the TRB, that melodious 3-round burst.
That killed us actually. That killed us because it is so sensitive.
Yes.
Because it's productionally it's very difficult to reproduce such type of complicated mechanisms.
Frankly speaking, the rifle is perfect because we have fired this rifle multiple times. It is meeting all the reliability accuracy criteria. So if you ask me the internal mechanisms, we are not foreseeing any improvement because it is perfect. But if any polymer, some specific force requirement is like a folding butt, then we can implement on demand basis.
That I think directly we can take the features and start redesigning that features for INSAS. But straight away we cannot take and fit it in the INSAS.
Not for this weapon, but we have designed one more weapon, that is CQB carbine.
Yes.
This magazine, because that is 5.5645, so that magazine can straight away used in INSAS. So that inventory interchange we always keep in mind while designing any weapon.
Apart from, say, suppose if somebody is asking us to upgrade it, all these features straight away can be implemented because technologies are already developed, like that butt, the collapsible butt. It is very, we can put it in the INSAS also, like this Picatinny rail hand guards. Straight away we can, small change, we can fit it in the INSAS also. Ideal case, if you say I'm not telling about Indian case, ideal case would have been that INSAS upgrade can survive next 20-25 years with the same inventory, because if you see any AKs or this one, they are not thrown after 20 years. Right. They are always upgraded. Like if you see US AR-10 or M4 platforms, they survive for last 30-40 years. So if say ideally if the academics somebody is working out properly, it should be working more than next 20 years also. Right. Because we generally try to give a 20 years life, but it is ultimately steel. Steel has got a life of more than 100 years. Yes. The steel won't break after 20 years.
And of course the barrel life.
So nothing will change. If you see like the bolt action rifles of British, now also you see that somebody is using. It is surviving for last 75 years. Right. So I don't think anything will drastically degrade after 20 years. Though we, as a designer, we give 20 years guaranteed life as a manufacturer. But if some upgradation is done, something is properly maintained, it has got, I feel that it has got residual life of next 20-25 years. So
that would be a cost-effective solution
of
upgrading the furniture with a lot of upgrades that you've done with the CQB carbine and of course with the Ugram, that would actually extend the life of
it. It's a logistics, it's like spares, everything is there with INSAS. If you change everything, it's a nightmare for everybody. Logistics are nightmare, the spares are nightmare. After 5-6 years, you won't get the spares for the 6 or.
I mean, what sir wants to say is we should not be creating a situation that disadvantages should exceed over advantages.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Prasad.
Nice meeting
you. And Gaurav.
Thank you.
It was very good talking with you.
Thank you.